Hello and welcome to Beyond the Lens, a podcast brought to you by Marshall Electronics. I'm your host, Michelle Dawn Mooney, and we have some exciting conversations ready to go here with my guest. I'm thrilled to bring him on today. Tod Musgrave is a director of the cameras division for Marshall Electronics. Tod, thank you so much for being with us today.
I appreciate it.
Tod, we really have some fun stuff to talk about, but before we do, let's get a brief bio from you if we can, so people know a little bit more about the person they're about to hear from.
Sure. Well, I grew up mostly on the East Coast, graduated college with an engineering degree with a minor in marketing, and been in the electronic entertainment business and video games actually for a number of years, and then took that technical knowledge and brought it over to Marshall Electronics and really took a deep dive into cameras. And 10 years later, here we are.
Here we are. And more than 10 years for Marshall, more than 40 years, Marshall Electronics has been in business. And I know things have changed quite a bit over the last couple of years. So first of all, can you tell us a little bit about what Marshall offers and then what you've seen kind of changed post-pandemic when nearly everyone is kind of forced to have a virtual presence?
Right. Well, like you said, 40 years in broadcast Pro AV. Historically, we've been very big in post-production monitors with heavy analytics like waveform, vector scope, very production type, OB-van, rack mount monitors, you name it, really kind of very high quality monitors in broadcast. And as well as switchers, we also do switchers and media converters and distribution amplifiers for SDI workflows and HDMI and IP, as we'll talk about in a little bit, I think. And then cameras really have, I hate to say they're just used in broadcast because really they run the gamut in Pro AV. And during the pandemic, you mentioned pandemic, we have USB camera options. We have IP camera options for that live streaming entertainment, that remote contribution to newscast and weathercast and work from home. So we had a wide range of cameras, high quality cameras that can plug into computers, that can plug into IP streaming for live streaming to YouTube and Facebook Live and all these other areas that people were live streaming their entertainment and content. So really kind of ran we like to say broadcast, but we're also very big in house of worship, which is can be considered Pro AV. When people were home and weren't allowed to get to their local churches, streaming live was essential, as you can imagine. So it really kind of, and even in sports production. So before people were allowed to go back into stadiums and they started live streaming sports, and with those remote cameras on site, with the Remy productions and other things, really remote contribution became very essential during pandemic. So it really kind of, we were always about 80-20 broadcast Pro AV. During pandemic, we were about 80 Pro AV and 20% production because there weren't a lot of live production going on. But during the pandemic, we saw our biggest years in camera sales and implementation and installed base. So it's been a very exciting ride, and now we're out of it, and production's back, and sports production and live broadcast is back with sports and newscasts and all kinds of other stuff. We really are kind of leveraging all those areas that we were able to grow in during pandemic, and now we're really focusing on a lot of the live streaming type avenues like IP and NDI and Facebook Live and all these other things that we can plug into and the workflows that we're so good at.
It's really crazy to see the shift of just what a change and affecting everyone, because it's not just work from home and corporate. It's the students who are at school, as you said, live events weren't available, houses of worship. So such a trend change for you that you've seen, but you've been able to handle it both because, as you said, before the pandemic, you had one side of things and you always knew how to do that and always were able to kind of, help out with those needs, but even more so the last couple of years. So let's talk about some of the biggest challenges that you hear from customers. And maybe it does have something to do with that switch, because you have a lot of people now who are in this space who are not familiar with working in this technological space. So what challenges have you heard about, and what solutions, more importantly, is Marshall providing?
Well, what's so interesting, I think, is that everybody was kind of forced to get familiar with their electronics, with their cameras, with their USB microphones, with video conferencing, remote working, as you mentioned, university, college level, remote learning, and even in high school and elementary level, people had to Zoom into their classroom. So for me, it starts with a sensor. We like to start with very high quality sensors. We like to refine our video quality and color representation to a point that it's what we call broadcast quality, but we also fit into a lot of non-broadcast type things like Pro AV, as you said, live streaming entertainment, live streaming content. Everybody wants to be a YouTuber, right, from their basements. So we have options in that area. In fact, I'm on the one of our new IP and USB cameras, our 420 camera. So we really focus on video quality, but we translate it to a lot of different industries, sports production, house of worship, newscast, weathercast. I don't like to typecast my cameras, so because they really can be used in such a wide range of applications.
Let's talk about some exciting things for the year ahead, because a lot of things going on, some big industry trade shows that Marshall will be presenting their brand at. So why are these so important, and what are you looking to see happen from these shows?
Well, one of the big pushes for us is IP streaming, right? So being able to connect one Ethernet cable to a camera and do all things like control video, audio, is real, and power over Ethernet is really interesting. And one of the greatest challenges has been low latency. Everybody talks about low latency and wanting that IP or USB or whatever it is to be very, very low latency to approach the SDI workflows that you see in broadcast for live broadcasts. So we're incorporating things like IP. We're incorporating things like NDI with NDI HX3 and full high bandwidth NDI. Also high vision SRT, which is very low latency, very good lossless video. But what we're very excited to show actually is at our next trade show, will kind of be, our biggest trade show every year is the NAB show, right? But BSC Expo is coming up in London, and I'll be over there showing our little miniature NDI HX3 camera.
Wow.
Which is what we call our POV. We do a lot in POV. We do a lot in pan tilt zoom, but our POV camera is what we cut our teeth on, and quite often used in NBA backboards. We were built into the pylons of the Super Bowl in years past. Things like first down markers, soccer and hockey goals, sand traps and tee boxes for PGA tournaments, Olympics. So really, it kind of runs the gamut of sports broadcast, but also very much lately with esports. So you have these very large esports events. Our cameras are commonly used right over the gamer, to show the gamer's face and reaction and all that excitement there. But our cameras are found on rockets going into space, on the International Space Station. Watching the James Webb Telescope being released from the bay, and our cameras capturing that. So I like to say Marshall has more cameras in space than anyone, but I can't prove that, and I probably can't talk about it that much either. Right?
Work trip, Todd. Work trip. Maybe
right?
you have to go out there and do a little research.
That's right. But we'll start at the BSC Expo coming up actually in a couple weeks. Then we have like Enterprise Connect that does a lot of that Pro AV stuff you were talking about, like video collaboration and university, college level, work and learn from home type stuff. But then, of course, our big show is the NAB show in Las Vegas in April. So we'll have live samples and demos of our new cameras at that trade show. And then Infocom, and then the IBC show, which is the other the second largest broadcast show we go to in Amsterdam towards the end of the year. So we're very excited to show what's new. We're working on a lot of stuff, and we're collaborating with a lot of different people to make sure our cameras are easy to use and seamlessly integrated into different workflows.
Let's talk about that. You said we're working on a lot of stuff. Technology is always changing, as we know. I mean, literally and figuratively, almost down to the minute or second, it seems. So you touched on a few really exciting products that you're excited to have people be introduced to at these shows, but anything in the pipeline that you want to talk about, new offerings or things that, you can't wait to have come to fruition?
Well, like I said, the little POV guys and with IP and NDI, these are going to be very unique because they're very small and you can hide them in a lot of places, right, very discreetly. But we have also a high bandwidth PTZ camera. You see our 730 model in background there that I test quite a bit. But we have a NDI HX3 version of that camera coming out, which is already out. And then we have a full high bandwidth NDI camera in that same format coming out around mid-year. So, and there's really a lot more in the pipeline that like small entry-level PTZ stuff, for budgetary applications for USB, IP, NDI. So there's always things coming out, and my job is quite busy making sure that I educate the market on what we do have. We like to say Marshall family of cameras because we have such a wide assortment of cameras that apply to a lot of different applications. So we're real excited to showcase. And being at trade shows is always fun for me because I get to meet the people that use them. They tell me, gosh, that's a great camera, but I wish it did this. And, absorbing that like a sponge and going back and designing those things into our cameras is really my passion.
So Tod, you talk about being able to meet the customers at these trade shows. Let me ask you this. What is the response from customers who are using your products? What are they saying?
It's funny. It depends who you sell into. Like the NAB and the IBC show, the broadcast engineers plug my camera into a fabric signal analyzer, and they don't even look at the picture quality really until they discovered it's a solid, let's just say clean signal so they can plug into their STI workflows. But in Pro AV, many times ease of use was more important, I think, than quality of video. And we like those features and benefits of ease of use and compatibility and reliability. But we focus on broadcast quality first. We always have. We came from the broadcast industries. I'm used to talking to broadcast engineers, and they really give it to me. Let me tell you, they really go through our cameras with a fine-tooth comb, and we've gotten so much feedback from those guys, like remote adjustability, being able to control adjust a camera on a football field or soccer field or lacrosse field, and making it look like those other big beauty cameras remotely from the broadcast truck has been something we focused on from the very beginning. Interchangeable lenses on all of our POV cameras, so you can get that right angle of view and the right shot, and be able to adjust to match it. And then of course it's color representation, it's clarity, it's refinement of video signal. So Marshall's been around a long time, and I'm very lucky to be able to pick the brains of a lot of top level broadcast engineers in the industry and from all the major networks. So what's cool is that, a lot of times the executives don't know that they use our POV cameras in their studios. They're more focused on the large format Grass Valley stuff and that kind of thing, or red cameras or other things. But, the broadcast engineers that are working on set will put a couple of our POV cameras on the P card or the credit card, just for, small expense, because we're very affordable also. And we have POV cameras from $300 to $1,000, and then we have full PTZ cameras with larger sensors for several $1,000s. So, we fit into a lot of different budgets, and to add another perspective to the production workflow, very good, high quality, and very affordable, and being able to add more perspectives it really increases the value of the production.
A lot of exciting things happening, a big year ahead for you at Marshall. Any final thoughts as we're wrapping up here? Maybe if people are out there and they're listening to this and saying, you know what, I think I need this, or I want this, and, not sure where to go with this.
Well, I think our approach is there's never a dumb question, right? Because we sell to very, very knowledgeable and very experienced broadcast engineers, all the way from people that donate their time at the local house of worship, and set up. Maybe they've never set up a camera. Maybe they don't know what SDI is, or HDMI, or IP, and all these key the words that we use in our industry. So we're very responsive, and just call us. We'll walk you through it. Sometimes I learn from our broadcast engineers. Sometimes I educate people that just want to know how to plug in and adjust the camera right in their small to medium to large size production. So feel free to give us a call, or visit our website at marshall-usa.com, and all of our cameras are there. We have Matrix, so if you need a certain feature, you can find the right model, or just simply give us a call. We'd love to talk to you.
Great information, Tod, and exciting things, as I said, on the way for the trade shows. I know that you're really excited about that, because it's all about the customer, making the customer happy and really providing those solutions for their needs. So once again, Tod Musgrave is the director of the cameras division for Marshall Electronics. You can go to marshall-usa.com for more information, as he said, and no dumb question. All levels of knowledge.
No dumb
I think we've really learned that over the pandemic. People, as you said, have never plugged in a camera before, and you have to have that learning curve. So Tod will definitely help you out there. Tod, thank you so much for your time. I know you're super busy because you have a lot of things going on right now. So really appreciate you being here today.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Michelle.
And thank you for listening and tuning into Beyond the Lens, a podcast brought to you by Marshall Electronics. Of course, you can go once again to marshall-usa.com for more information on the conversation we had here and learn more about all of those exciting products. And of course, the trade shows coming up, very exciting as well. I'm your host, Michelle Dalmooney. Thanks again for joining us. We hope to see you soon.